all right. So guess what, guys? It's time to bring on the aforementioned Saccone Prince. Let me tell you this quick story. I went to black belt speaker training with Ruben West a few years ago. It's been about 4 or 5 years now. And I just checked in. I just got in from the hotel. I went over to have a bite to eat with Corey Briggs and Saccone Prince. That was my first time meeting either one of them. We met at Saccone and I met at the airport. And we ended up going to get something to eat. Had a great conversation with Saccone, had a great conversation with Corey Briggs, and we've been close ever since then. We shared our black belt speaker experience with Keisha Williams, who was also there. It's a special bond, and I'm going to tell you, until you have heard this man speak, he's also an actor. He is a phenomenal actor. If you pay attention, you see his posts on Facebook Live every week. He has incredible vignettes he does. If you get a chance to watch his videos, they always have a powerful message. He does events. He's a speaker, an actor, a motivator. He has inspired me to do a lot of different things in business, and I want to make sure you guys get to share in what I get from Saccone Prince. Saccone, are you there? Oh, somebody got him muted. Saccone, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me? Mic check.
We hear you loud and clear, my brother. We hear you loud and clear, my man. I'm going to turn the mic over to you, brother. Take it away, my man.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Good morning, Black CEO, and I am so excited to be here. I do want to make one slight correction that Barry said. I tell people all the time, I say, look, I'm not an actor, but I play one on TV. That means I'm not an actor, but I play one on TV because I've actually done several local commercials here in Mobile, but I'm not a trained or a professional actor by any stretch of the imagination. Although some people may say that sometimes I act the fool, but that's a whole different story. But look, I am so excited to be here today to share an encouraging word with each and every one of you. Because I know at times being a CEO, being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, you can find yourself with your back up against the wall and you find yourself really wanting to give up. And I want to talk today about how to keep going when you feel like giving up. How to keep going when you feel like giving up. I have 3 points I want to give you, and they all start with the letter S. The point, in fact, number 1 is stop. Number 2 is study. And number 3 is start. I'm going to say that again for those who are taking notes. The first point is to stop. The second point is to study. And the third point is to start. Now, I know you say this, well, Saccone, in fact, you're supposed to be telling me how to keep going when you feel like giving up. But the first thing you tell me to do is stop. Yeah, stop. But this is what I want you to stop doing. I want you to stop fighting for perfection. I'm going to say that again. Stop fighting for perfection. Now, I could really just drop the mic there and walk away. Because I know for a fact that a lot of people spend so much time, energy, and effort fighting for perfection. They want everything perfect. They want everything right. They want everything to line up exactly the way they want it to. And they spend so much time, energy, and effort trying to do that everything else gets left out. Everything else falls by the wayside. There's not enough energy left over for the studying and for the starting. They spend so much time fighting for perfection that they are not ready for the long haul. And you can't fight for perfection. I remember a couple of years ago, a coworker of mine, I kind of asked him how his day was going. And he said, well, I'm trying to get all my ducks in a row. And before I knew it, in that moment, I said something profound. It came back to me later. But I said, well, normally, the mother duck just start walking and then all the ducks line up. And we've oftentimes heard that phrase about getting all your ducks in a row. And it's not that you get them in a row and then you start going. Because if you ever see a line of ducks walking, the mother duck is walking, and the little chicks, they start looking, oh, there she is over there. And so they start following. And that's how they line up. They line up as they are following the mother duck. So they don't get everything lined up first and then start walking. They start walking, and as they walking, things line up. So that's what I mean about stop fighting for perfection. Stop waiting until everything is perfect right, before you launch out into doing whatever it is you've undertaken, whatever your goal or your vision is. Stop waiting till everything is perfect, because there won't be a perfect time. You got to take the time you have and make it perfect. Stop waiting for the right time and take the time you have and make it right. So you got to stop fighting for perfection. And I know that can be a challenge sometimes. I know it, especially for myself, being the type of personality or type of person that I am and having my personality, I have to actually pull myself back, say, all right, look, Sakona, we just need to go and get it out, and we'll fix it in the process. You know, if you just look at your cell phone, I'm sure no one on this call has a Samsung Galaxy or has an iPhone 1. I mean, a Galaxy 1 or an iPhone 1. So every year or every 2 years, they come up with a newer phone. So they didn't wait until they perfected the phone to put it out. They put the first one out. They may have got it 80% of the way there, and they put it out, and then they worked on the 20%. And once they got 80% of that 20% done, they put out another version. And they keep doing that. They keep improving. They keep making it better. And so many of us, we spend so much of our time fighting for perfection that we never get anything done. So how do you keep going? You feel like giving up? Stop fighting for perfection. And then the next thing, the second point I want to make, is that we need to start studying where we are. Studying what's going on around you. Studying how you've gotten to that place. Once you stop fighting for perfection, you really need to take a step back and look to see how it is you've gotten to that point to where you want to give up. Sometimes we do that by overextending ourselves, by saying yes to stuff that we should say no to, or saying yes to something we should say later to, or not prioritizing. Everything can be a priority. I remember hearing Steve Harvey one time said, somebody was talking to him about a plan B, and he said, no, you don't have a plan B. You just get another plan A. Because when you have a plan B, that means you're not putting enough into plan A. If plan A isn't working, you just get another plan A. You scrap the first plan A, and you get another one. There's no plan B. And see, I think a lot of us, we spend too much time trying to spread ourselves so thin and touch and do so many things that we're not able to actually get any traction in one particular area. And the only way for us to really understand that is that we need to study where we are and how we got to that point of wanting to give up. There's some things we need to cut out of our lives. There's some people we need to cut out of our lives. There's some activities. There's some places we need to just scratch off our list, because they are taken away from the limited resources we have. And I'm not just talking about money, but I'm talking about our time, our energy, and our effort. We can't go everywhere and do everything. We need to be strategic, and that's why studying is so important. Be strategic in how we spend our limited resources. So not only do we have to stop fighting for perfection, but we also have to study where we are. Study how you got there. Study what went into bringing you to that point. And one of the things I know for a fact is a lot of people rarely take an inventory of themselves. They'll look at other people, they'll evaluate them, they will find out stuff about their history and their past, and they'll actually make a folder, a mental folder as to who this person is and stuff that they've gone through, the stuff that they've shared, the stuff I know about them. And so they then define that person based upon the information that they've gotten. But rarely do we do that of ourselves. You ask the average person if they do they know themselves, they'll be like, sure, yeah, I know myself. Then you start asking questions. So why is it that you do this? Why is it that you do that? Well, why is it that, you react a certain way when this happens? And we rarely spend a lot. To me, the best thing that we can do is know who we are and what we bring to the table. And Mark Twain said it like this: the two most important days in your life is the day you were born and the day you found out why. And a lot of us, we know the day we were born based upon the fact that other people told us when our birthday was. But when you find out why, no one has to tell you. You're telling them. You are making sure that they know who you are and why you're here. So understanding what went into making you who you are, understanding what you have to bring to the table, understanding your value. It puts you in a better position to deal with the challenges of life. And it also helps direct you, because when you feel like giving up, oftentimes you're doing stuff that doesn't add to your goals, your vision, your passion, where you're supposed to go. So when you feel like giving up, you need to study how you got to that point. And then, not only do you need to stop fighting for perfection, not only do you need to study how you got to where you are, but then you have to have the courage to start again. The courage to start again. Billionaire philanthropist, billionaire business owner, Warren Buffett, he said he would never invest in a company whose owner hadn't failed twice. I'm going to say that again. He said he would never invest in a company whose owner hasn't failed twice. See, there are some things that we learn, and oftentimes we look at our losses as that, and our losses can be losses if we don't learn the lesson. But if you learn the lesson, it's not a loss. Either you win or you learn. You get the information. And so many of us were so quick to run past a bad situation, to just, I want to forget about it. I want to put it in the past. I'm moving on. Have you gotten the lesson? Because if you haven't gotten the lesson, guess what? You're going to circle the block. You're going to come right back to that same point until you get that lesson. Until you've learned that lesson, you aren't really going to be able to move forward. And so starting again means that you have to have the courage to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get back in the race. To get back in the race. I remember hearing a story several years ago about this young man who was in a race. And it was a race around the track. It was a one-time race around the track. And they started off, they shot the gun, and the guy started off running with everybody else. And he had got maybe a quarter around the track, and he stumbled and fell. But, oh, man, that was hard to feel. He got up. He was bloody. He had scrapes on him. He was embarrassed, but he kept running. He kept going. He kept going. He got halfway around the track and fell again. Now, by this time, the other racers, they were already 3/4 of the way around the track. And people just knew. They knew for a fact he was going to just stay down or walk out off the track. He got up again. This time he was hurt even more. He was even more scraped, more bruised, more bloody. But he kept going. He kept running. And even in his injured state, he got about maybe 3/4 of the way around the track and fell another time. By this time, the other racers had already crossed the finish line. And people, they were wondering, why does he keep getting up? Why doesn't he just walk off the field? It'll be okay. It'll be all right. Just go on and leave. But he got up. And, this time he was moving even slower than he was before. But what he noticed, what was different this time is that the first time he fell, there was shock and awe. There was some laughter and some snicker. Then when he fell the second time, there was more silence. People, it's like they kind of felt bad by, kind of poking fun at him. But the third time he fell, in fact, when he got up, he noticed that there was a different atmosphere on the crowd, although everybody else had crossed the finish line. Instead of the crowd booing, or instead of the crowd having this awe, like shock, like I can't believe you hadn't stopped, they started to cheer him on. They started to encourage him because he kept going, even though he failed 3 times. But his determination, his willingness to finish the race, his willingness to keep going in spite of what he had gone through and what he had dealt with, what he had experienced, he had the courage to start again. And that's what I want you to do. I don't care how many times you've fallen. I don't care how many setbacks you've had. If you can just get up and start again, just keep going. Take those lessons that you've learned from falling. Take those lessons you've learned from having to go through difficult times. Take those and use those. But keep going. Start again. And as he rounded that last corner, as he made his way towards the finish line, the crowd just started to cheer. Even the other racers, the ones who had finished way before him, they were at the finish line, and everybody was cheering him on because of his determination and his unwillingness to give up. And that's what I want you to have. I want you to experience that. I want you to know that there are people that are cheering for you. There are people that want you to win. He crossed the finish line, and the crowd and everybody erupted into applause because what they saw in him is what they wanted to see in themselves. That's the ability to keep going in spite of what they were facing. I was talking to somebody just this past weekend, and I shared with them, I said, I want you to think of the person that encourages you, the person that loves you, the person that sacrifices for you, the person that done things just to help you, the person that wants the best for you. I want you to think of that person. I want you to get a picture in your mind of who that person is. And I'm telling you, on this call right now, on this radio broadcast, I want you to think of that person who cares about you, that person who loves you, that person who will sacrifice for you, that person who will do anything to see you smile. Think of that person. Now what I want you to do, and listen to me carefully, I want you to become that person. I want you to become the person that loves you. I want you to become the person that encourages you. I want you to become the person that will sacrifice for you to make sure that you succeed. I want you to be that person. Become your biggest cheerleader. Nobody should celebrate you more than you. I know we spend time in our mind with our negative talk about the stuff that we can do, we shouldn't do. We know the worst things about ourselves. But guess what? We also know the best things about ourselves. So I want you to become the person that encourages you even in the downtown when your friends won't answer your phone, when they won't return your text, when they won't give you an inbox response. You become the person that encourages yourself, and in doing so, you will know for a fact that you won't give up. That's the way you learn how to keep going when you feel like giving up. Stop fighting for perfection. Steady where you are. But then have the courage to start again. And look, my name is Sakoni Prince of SakoniPrince.com, where we make motivation personal by introducing you to yourself. And I want you to know that you can keep going when you feel like giving up. Barrett, back over to you.
Man, thank you so much, Coney. Appreciate that, man. That was fantastic. That's the Coney Prince, everybody. Hey, if you have a question or a comment, if he got you fired up this morning, that's a way to start the weekend. Hit star 2 right now. Hit star 2. We're going to bring you on for 30 seconds. You get a chance to give a question or comment, too. So, Coney, I'm going to start out with another black belt speaker, Keisha Williams. Keisha, what you got for Coney?
Good morning, Sakoni. Thank you so much, number one, for being here and an awesome message. So actually, I ended up with 2 questions, and it's interesting because my thought of the day was around, facing challenges head on. And so right at the end of your talk, you talked about perfection. And so first, I'd like you to speak on how can, someone get past perfection paralysis, because we know that is a huge thing that keeps people, stuck. So what would be your take on that?
Well, my take on that is this, and I know it's going to sound comical. You can't take yourself too seriously because no one else does. And what I mean by that is oftentimes we want to impress other people, and that's why, we want everything perfect. And again, you can spend forever and you'll never get it perfect. You have to stop fighting for perfection, and you have to realize I have to put this up. Perfection is I will perfect it in the process, and which continues. So you can't just be stuck with trying to make sure that everything is right, because if you did that, you will never get to where you were supposed to be.
No, absolutely. Thank you. And so my other, and not to take up any questions from the callers, so if you have a question, make sure you press star 2. Otherwise, I'm going to keep going. But the other question that I heard you say a lot about keep going. But what do you say to that person who can't seem to motivate themselves because they're watching everyone else around them have success?
There are people that we are called to serve. There are people that are waiting on us. And I tell people all the time, somebody is waiting on you to show up. When I show up, they don't even listen. When I show up, they tune me out. But when you show up, because of your background, because of everything that you've gone through, your story, your experiences, they are looking for you. So you can't really worry about what everybody else is doing. You have to be specific to what you're doing. And so I would say to that person, understand and know that somebody is hungry for what you have. They're starving for what you have. Don't let them go hungry. If you think about the person that you serve, the person that is glad when you show up, they smile when you walk in the room, that's the person that you keep going for. That's the one that you keep sacrificing for. That's the one that you keep putting in the work for, because somebody is waiting. And I tell people all the time, if I knew everybody I was supposed to reach and talk to, if I had a list of their names, I would make phone calls. People go grab coffee, we would grab some lunch. I would talk to everybody I was supposed to talk to, and then I would go and do something else. I would scratch them off the list and I would go and do something else. But since I don't know who they are, since I don't know their names individually, I have to keep putting myself out there. I have to keep putting my message out there so that somebody can hear and they can resonate with what I'm going through, with what I've been through. They can learn from me, and then they can benefit from my story. So my thing is to encourage everybody, there's somebody waiting on you, somebody looking for what you have. And I don't care whether it's doing taxes or frying chicken or cutting grass, whatever it is, somebody is waiting for you. Show up for them. Show up for that person, and your life will be that much better.
Love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow. Big Ciccone. What's going on, brother? This is Robert Antoine. How are you, sir?
What up? I'm doing good, and you?
I'm doing better than good, but still not as good as you, brother. So I'm trying. I'm trying to get there.
Okay.
Listen, man, everybody is fired up from your talk this morning, and I'm glad that you were able to share with us. And one of the things that I oftentimes talk to people, and I tell them that, when they see you shining and glowing, and they see your glory, right?
Uh-huh.
They really don't know your story and your struggle, and the message that you shared today about falling down and getting back up is so poignant and so relevant for Black CEOs, whether they're just starting out or
right.
established. You
right.
got to keep pushing. But if you had to take the mirror, shine it back on yourself, and go into Ciccone Pass, if there was one thing that you can do differently along your entrepreneurial journey, what would that one thing be?
I would have invested in myself sooner. I would have invested in myself sooner. I would have paid for my seat. Oh man, how much time we got? A lot of us, we are waiting for other people to pay for our training, to pay for our trips, to pay for our hotels, to pay for our rental cars, to give us per diem. I would have invested in myself sooner. I would have gone to conferences, gone to workshops, bought books, read, studied. I would have invested in, if there was anything I could do, if I could go back in my past and change something, I would have invested in myself sooner. So
that's good.
Well, brother. Well said.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So Ciccone, this is Candace. So wonderful. Wonderful presentation today. It was really amazing. My question is, so in this microwave society we live in the instant gratification society we live in, how do we help ourselves to understand that success and greatness is a process and that may not happen overnight?
Well, your answer is really in the question, because you said in this microwave society. Everybody on this call, everybody that's listening to the sound of my voice, we can honestly say we haven't run to the microwave, but like, oh, that was so good, that microwave dinner, it was so good. No. Anything that has really made us just sit up and take notice, it came from an oven, it came off a stove, it was slow cooked, it was simmered, it took time. And our pastor oftentimes tell us if it comes fast, it won't last. And oftentimes people are looking for just that quick. I actually wrote an article entitled Get Rich Slow. And I know that goes against every convention, everything that's out there, because so many people want to get rich quick. But if your mind isn't in a place to handle the riches, if you don't believe me, and there's a show, they actually look at people who won the lottery like 5 years later and see where they are. They are in worse conditions, in worse shape after they won the lottery because their mind hadn't changed, because they got it too fast. And for those entrepreneurs, business owners, and just individuals, if you don't pace yourself, you won't be able to handle the sustained success that you achieve. If it comes too quick, some people just lose their mind. They get the big head. You can't talk to them anymore. They stop returning your calls. They get beside themselves. But if you've gone through the trenches, if you had to fight for every inch and every dime you got, you become the type of person that can not only enjoy the success, but you can teach other people the same thing. You can teach them about the slow cook way, about the crock pot way to success instead of the microwave, because I'm telling you, trying to fast track a lot of stuff. I mean, there are some areas of your life you can, but when it comes to success, if your mind isn't there, if you haven't invested in yourself, you'll never sustain. I tell people all the time, you become a success before you become successful. I'm going to say that again because somebody missed that. You become a success before you become successful. You become a success in your mind first, and then your success follows. But so many people don't want to put in the work. They don't want to invest in themselves, and they don't want to actually take the time to grow into the person that can handle the success that's waiting on them. That's why you have a whole lot of artists that are one-hit wonders, because they sort of came up overnight and you never hear from them again. But look at the ones who's been there 5, 10, 15, 20 years in the game. They've learned how to pace themselves, and that's what we have to do. Learn how to pace ourselves.
Love it, love it, love it. Saccone, what's up? This is Belton Shaw. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, and you?
Good as you, and I'm fine. You talked about, can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. You talked about, the times where you stumble, where you fall, and you have to get up. One of the things that a lot of people have to deal with, especially when they're climbing that ladder, are the people around them that are the doubters, the naysayers, the negative Nellies that are telling them it's not for you, you can't do this, you should do something else, you should, devote your time and energy to doing something more productive. How do you suggest they deal with these people to keep their focus and their mindset straight?
Well, I would say consider the source. Consider the person that's saying that. Look at their life. Look at what they're doing. And oftentimes, when you have people that are volunteering advice, it's unwelcome, it's unwarranted, okay? Most successful people, they seek out folks to get advice from. But when you have somebody that comes up to you and they are voluntarily telling you what you should be doing, my thing is, okay, so what are you doing again? Where's your success? Where are you going? And so if you consider the source, if you consider those people and their life, is their life reflective of the advice that they're giving? Ooh, I just stepped on some toes then, I'm sorry. Is their advice reflective of the advice that they're giving? Because if their life doesn't reflect what they're telling you to do, why should you listen to them? Why should you let them dictate your behavior, your future, your actions? If their life doesn't even come close to what they're telling you to do, then the question is, why should I even be listening to you? I mean, just be honest, and I know some of them are family, some of them are friends, and you don't just write everybody off and just push them away, but you have to learn how to filter that information. And again, if you didn't go to them asking for advice, if they just volunteered, come, hey, let's go, So you need to be doing this. Hey, Belton, say you should be doing that. Then again, I'm gonna step back and I'm gonna study. Okay, so what's your life look like? What measure of success do you have? Because if they are as successful as I want to be, guess what? I'm going to be going to them. And I'm going to be like, hey, man, how you do that? Hey, man, can you give me some advice? Can you help me? Because I see the results in their life. So, yeah, I consider the source. I consider where they are, and is the advice that they're giving me reflective in their own life? Because if it's not, I appreciate you. I'll catch you on the flip side, because I'm not going to spend too much time focusing on what they're offering if they don't even reflect what they're trying to tell me to do. So,
powerful. Thank you, my friend.
Welcome.
Wow. And Coney, this is Barry. Man, before I ask the question, I know, I mean, you're going so strong right now. You're just unstoppable. So, being that you're unstoppable, I know we got a question from a caller right now. Caller, you are on the air.
Hey, it is an unstoppable morning, Black CEO. How's everybody doing? This is Terrence Leftridge, and I just had to get on the call to shout out that wonderful presentation from my boy, Saccone. How you doing, Saccone?
I'm doing good. Are you, Coach T?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. And your message, as always, was timely. My question to you is, 2 out of the 3 things that you said that we need to do so that we can stop and start are things that are uncomfortable for many people to do. It's uncomfortable for us to study ourselves and to, as you just said, reflect on what we're doing. And it's also uncomfortable to start over, especially if you've had some failures in your life. And so my question is to you, how do we get over that uncomfortable feeling, or how do we move past that uncomfortable feeling so that we can study ourselves, so that we can start over and not be stopped in our tracks?
Well, the way that we get over that uncomfortable feeling is, there are a couple of things that actually come to mind, but in fact, one of the most pressing things is, if you think that discomfort right here is bad, think about what's going to happen if you truly quit. Several years ago, I gave a commencement speech to a college, and I talked about how you experience a little pain now to experience less pain later. And I actually used the example of me having 2 or 3 months prior to that commencement speech, I had a root canal. And the reason I had a root canal is because of poor dental hygiene. Had I been diligent about going to the dentist and flossing and all these other sort of things, I wouldn't have had to go through that excruciating pain of a root canal. But you know what? I found myself experiencing so much pain with a toothache that I was glad to go get a root canal, because it felt like someone had taken an ice pick and hammered it up into the top of my jaw, and every now and then they would twist it. That's the kind of pain I had. But had I gone to the dentist on a regular basis, had I done what I was supposed to do, I could have avoided that. So to answer your question, understanding that there are people that are waiting on you, and the regret that comes with not meeting them, we're not fulfilling your calling and your purpose. That pain to me is more hurtful than studying myself, than starting again. Because there are so many people that live with regret. There's so many people that are on their deathbed thinking about what they could have done, what they should have done. Don't be that person. Go through the pain of studying why it is that you do what you do. Go through the pain of starting again. Because if you don't, you will live with the constant pain of regret. It's like go to the dentist to get the cleaning. Yes, I know no one likes a actual deep tissue cleaning. But if you don't do that, you're going to wind up with a root canal. You're going to wind up having to get a crown. If you don't do that small, if you don't do that small pain now, you're going to live with a greater pain later. And even like I was telling those college graduates, I said, you have gone through this time now. You've experienced this amount of pain now, but the result is that you'll alleviate pain later, pain of being looked over for a promotion, or the pain of not being able to get a job because you don't have the degree. You went through this trying time now so you can have a better life. And that's what all of us need to do in order for us to have that level of success. In order for us to be able to actually be that model and not just a model, but be able to teach and show other people, we have to go through that process in order for us to be able to serve those people who we were called to serve.
Wow, Coney, that was fantastic, man. Look, before we let you go, I do need to make a point to everybody that you can help them to elevate their lives and their business. Don't you have something going on in October, brother?
Yes, sir, I do. Our Are You Climbing the Wrong Mountain Summit, October 18th and 19th in New Orleans, Louisiana.
When was the last time you felt satisfied with your career? When was the last time you were excited about your small business? If you have ever experienced any of these emotions, then you owe it to yourself to attend the Are You Climbing the Wrong Mountain Summit, October 18th and 19th, 2019 in New Orleans, Louisiana. This annual summit is in its 4th year of helping business professionals just like you gain clarity in their career field, increase productivity in their companies, and realize greater fulfillment in their life. Go to climbtherightmountain.com and invest in your future today.
We are going to have an incredible time. We have some dynamic speakers, MCs, DJs. It's going to be beyond amazing. And this year is the first year, in fact, they were doing a two-day summit, and this is our 4th one. So we're going to have Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th. And if you want to find out more information and see pictures and videos from the previous years, you can go to climbtherightmountain.com. That's climbtherightmountain.com. All one word. You can go there and you can find out all the information about the summit. You can register, get your tickets, and you want to be there because it's going to be beyond amazing. I already know that. I'm already at the summit in my mind. I wake up every day. I live the summit every day. I see it. The only thing I don't know is the faces of the people that are going to be there. But I want you to be in the building because I'm telling you, your life will not be the same. And I'm not just saying that because I'm putting it on. I'm saying it because I know for a fact with the presenters, with the information that you're going to receive, you will not be the same person after the summit.
So how do people get in touch with Saucony Prince if they want to bring you on, my brother?
They can go to SauconyPrince.com. That's CICONE Prince, PRINCE.com. You can find me on all social medias. Just search my name. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter. Everywhere. Just search for Saucony Prince, and you can reach out to me. My actual email is Saucony@SauconyPrince.com, and my phone number is actually on the website. It's available. I'm telling you, I found my right mountain, and this is it. Encouraging people, helping them to understand who they are and what they bring to the table. Because my thing is, no matter where you go, you're there. And if you never develop as a person, you are really not showing up at your best. But if you spend time investing in yourself and spend time knowing who you are, when you show up, you have a level of confidence unlike anything else because you know what it is that you're capable of and what it is that you bring to the table. And you'll see your own value, and you won't even worry about what other people are doing. Yeah, you may be able to do 20 things, and I only may be able to do 2. But I do my 2 things, and I do them with all of my heart. So they can just reach out to me, Saucony Prince, on all social media, all platforms, Saucony@SauconyPrince.com. Joe.
All right, fantastic. Everybody, let's go, Tony. I love Saucony Prince. Everybody hit star 7 right now, guys. We're going to show him I love. Hit star 7. I'm going to count down from 5. We're going to say the name, where you're from, and Black CEO out. Here we go. Hit star 7. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maryland, Black CEO out.